and welcome. I'm Ludine Kilgore. I am with the Gary International Black Film Festival committee person, and I would like to welcome you to GIBF 10 Years of Celebrating Black Excellence. We are here today with the Young Filmmakers Showcase. First, I would like to thank our sponsors and patrons. Without you, this cannot be possible. Array, Legend, Legacy Foundation, Knight Foundation, Urban League of Northwest Indiana, James Wallace, Indiana University, Department of Multicultural Diversity, Multicultural Affairs, Equity, Jay's Breakfast Club, C. Witt, Quad J Creative Group, LLC, Trainer Digital Strategies, the City of Gary, filmmakers, audience, panelists. We thank you, thank you, thank you. And also our staff. We have at the helm, Karen Toring, Walter Jones, Saida Holt, Tony Simpson, Lester Lowe, Sydney Chapman, Winter Ojili, and I would also, myself, Ludine Kilgore, of course, Tiffany Arnold, Media, Public Relations, and Technical Support, Megan Trainer, James Ward, Ventress Jackson. You can find us at GaryBlackFilmFest.org. Also, don't forget, visit our website. We have swag and merchandise. And thank you for your generous donation. We appreciate you. So I would like to welcome the host for today, Miss Latrice Edwards. She is in the film industry, celebrity makeup artist, entrepreneur, philanthropist. And Mr. Ahmad Ferguson, actor, recently had his TV debut on The Chi. Take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ludine. Thank you so much. I am elated. Again, as Ludine mentioned, my name is Latrice Edwards, and I am so elated to be your host for the Young Filmmakers Showcase of the Gary International Black Film Festival. First of all, happy anniversary. Happy 10-year anniversary, GIBFF. Let's clap it up for 10 years of entertainment and empowerment and showcasing independent and supporting independent Black films right here in the great city of our hometown, Gary, Indiana. Congratulations to you, Karen Toring. Congratulations to the GIBFF family and all of the supporters. I'm so proud of you and happy for you. And 10 more blessed, many more years to come, okay? I am here along with my co-host and nephew, Mr. Ahmad Ferguson. Hey, nephew, hey.
Hey. Thank you
and
for
our wonderful filmmakers here who are a part of the showcase. You all have experienced and enjoyed an array of awesome independent films created by our youth and young adults, and I'm just so proud of them. I mean, just so awesome to have them here today. And we actually have several filmmakers with us here today to speak about their films and the industry and their aspirations and all that stuff. And like the millennials say, we're gonna get into it, nephew.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. And congrats to you, Ahmad, Gary's own actor. And in your role, it's not his debut, actually, TV debut, because Ahmad Ludine has been on the PD and
Chicago PD, Shameless, APB, a Netflix film. Oh, well, Chicago PD, I played Jordan Atwater, the younger brother. I was in Shameless. I was also in Beats. I played Blue. What else was I in? This show called APB, I played Tyrone. And currently, I'm in The Chi. I was on season 3, and I can finally bring the news out and confirm that they are bringing me back for season 4. So.
That was my holy prayer! Congratulations! Thank you, boss lady Lena Waithe, for hooking my nephew up. Thank you to the Shaw family. Awesome. Congratulations. Well, let's get into it. As we just said, and as we're sharing all this wonderful news, we want to cross the borders and shed light on wonderful filmmakers and wonderful news and storytelling all the way in Canada. And I love and I'm excited to welcome our filmmakers from the Being Black in Toronto collective, as I call it. Which is a wonderful collective of young filmmakers. And I am looking forward to delving more into the backstory of this group and partnership and collaboration. Let's welcome Ms. Shireen Taylor and Ms. Fona, who is the producer, and Mr. Adrian Wallace. I'm not sure if he has, yes, hey, Adrian.
He down there.
How are you? I see you there now.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I got everyone's faces so I can see everyone's. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing?
Hey. Welcome all the way, our Canadian friends. Wow. Welcome all the way to the great city of Gary. You can say that you have virtually been to the hometown of the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson until you come, if you've never been.
That's
let's slap it up.
Virtually, yeah.
Virtually, yes. I've had wonderful time. We were talking about actually in the back green room, virtual green room, about my fun times doing Caribana in Toronto. So I have a fun place in my heart for Toronto and all of my Caribbean family out there. Welcome.
That's what's up.
Let's get into, it's first of all, I'm so happy to have Fona here, who is one of the producer of the group. And we had our questions tailored around the filmmakers, but you popped up and gave us an extra bonus, girl. Thank you. I love that, because getting into the collective, I think we can start so many places, but I guess we should start with you, Fona, as far as the backstory, how this started, and then we can get into Shireen and Adrian. You can tell us and enlighten us more on the inspiration behind your films and delve more into that, and then we'll just take it from there.
Amazing. So Being Black in Toronto is a subsect of a program called Being Black in Canada. And there's 3 cities, Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax. And so Oya Media Group was the partner for Toronto. And Oya has 2 founders, 2 Black women founders. And I was part of their youth program previously, and they hired me on to this project to coordinate this program specifically. And so in that, it was one of my first times being able to actually produce multiple documentaries at once instead of just one at a time. And so that's essentially where the root of this project came from. It's from the Fabienne Kless Foundation, and they connected with Oya Media Group. And now we have our amazing 6 docs and our amazing 6 directors.
That is so awesome. That is the epitome as far as putting all of your power and your resources together just for the greater good. This group is the epitome of that. So congratulations to you on that. Yes. Shireen, let's get into your film and inspiration.
For sure. So my film is called Taloa Abroad, Remembering Little Jamaica. So just a little bit of backstory. In the 70s, when the Caribbean had its second wave of migration to Canada, Little Jamaica, or rather this neighborhood in Toronto's West End that is now called Little Jamaica, was one of the places that the migrants settled from the region. So for many people, that neighborhood was a transitory space. So they used that area to sort of stay connected, get groceries, kind of build community, and either stay there or like move out once they've had acquired more capital or whatever. However, due to a now 11-year transit project, so to build a light rail transit to extend accessibility across the city, the neighborhood has sort of been subject to gentrification. And so Taloa Abroad is really sort of an exploration of how gentrification affects the community, but also it sort of interrogates like what happens when there are other things at stake. So like, cultural legacy, and sort of asking questions about cultural preservation as well. A lot of people don't know that that neighborhood was really a grounds for when reggae artists came over to perform in Toronto from Jamaica. That was the neighborhood that they would go to. The picture that was my background before my arm started to disappear, that was the reggae store, the record store that a lot of musicians used to stop by and sort of like have familiar ground. So there's a lot of cultural history there as well as the current residents. There are still folks who live there, but because of COVID-19, because of the reconstruction that has basically made that entire neighborhood inaccessible to both foot traffic and road traffic, a lot of the small businesses are closing down. So the film follows the residents of the neighborhood as well as some of the business owners as they sort of try to navigate and grapple with what their realities are.
Wow, that's amazing. I tell you, whether it's abroad or whether it's domestic here in the States, gentrification definitely has its cons and its pros and its cons. I think we can all agree to that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Ahmad, you have any questions for Shireen?
Yeah, I had a question for Shireen. What made you like want to tell this story and wanted to get started in filmmaking? Was it like, you know, like you just came up seeing it, or did like somebody inspire you? You know, like what was your whole motive and like your, you know, coming into this?
Yeah, so I often forget to tell people that I used to live there. So I was there for a short time, and when I was in my maybe third year of university, I received some funding to do a project where basically I went to Jamaica and I was documenting my time there. And then I realized that a lot of places in Jamaica reminded me of places in Toronto. So I would take a photo of a place in Jamaica and then find its Toronto equivalent. So when it was time for me to return, I went back to the neighborhood that I grew up in, and it was completely transformed. So that's one reason why I knew, like, as soon as the opportunity presented itself, that I wanted to sort of tell this story. But my sensibilities are really informed from like a writer. I'm a music and culture writer primarily. So filmmaking is something that I wanted to just try my hand at as another means of storytelling, and as another like visual means of storytelling. So like I imagine that we had filmed in January of 2019. I am 100% like for sure know that that place doesn't look like how it even did then. So like in a way, it sort of like acts as a means to chronicle at least, or have a snapshot of what that neighborhood looks like right now. And again, like I'm also Jamaican too, so that there's a lot of personal ties I have to that space. So that was an area that my grandmother frequented. Me, my mom, and my aunt and my cousin, like that was one of the houses that we grew up together. Wow. I have personal ties to that space, but like my 16-year-old cousin, like she has none. So I'm sort of thinking about it in that way, like we really don't have many spaces that we can call our own. A lot of our, I mean, for me, a lot of my Blackness is informed by migration. So, you know, collectively being kidnapped from Africa, but then having my family move to Canada. So a lot of who we are and what we know is informed by being in transit. So it's sort of understanding that relationship of being in transit and also space making, and maybe what the tensions are between the two when things like gentrification get put into the mix.
Yeah, you know, like I said, the pros and cons, like your concerns, it sounds so parallel and similar to even what we are in a shift as a city here in Gary of gentrification now. And we just had one of our landmarks demolished. And it has it's a beautiful mural of the Jackson 5. And so to your point, as far as you having personal ties to a building or a space or your house, if you will, and your cousin may not so much, you know, think mixed reviews and mixed emotions about that demolition that just happened, because that was a mural that was, you know, a collective effort of local artists who, you know, just donated their, you know, creative time and gifts and energy to create that beautiful piece of artwork on the building, and now it's gone. So
Right.
yeah, thank you for sharing so much, and congratulations to you. I want to make sure that we have time for Adrian to speak about his film. Hey Adrian, congratulations on your
what's
film.
up, bro?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello again, everybody. My name is Adrian. Pleasure to be here. I'm a filmmaker ultimately, but when you break it down, more specifically, I'm a writer, director, actor. As you can see, I was one of 6 filmmakers selected to be part of Being Black in Toronto. Yeah, my story, or my film, my documentary is called Black Sun. And I think the title will become obvious a little later, but essentially, I focused on 2 women who were anguished by acts of gun violence. And they kind of come 180 to kind of share their personal stories to help their affected communities. One of my documentarian subjects, her name is Kelly Fife Marshall. Like me, she's an emerging director doing great things as an African diasporic storyteller. And she was one of my subjects, you know, really, really big on shedding emotional intelligence and trying to give a little bit of insight as to, you know, why acts of gun violence happen so predominantly, especially in Black communities. And my second documentary subject, Sherry Benelli. She's a community activist. She runs two programs that help her community and then give them basically a safe place to kind of you know, hang out, so they're not kind of just roaming the streets and up to no good. And unfortunately, she was actually affected by a gun violent act directly when her son actually got hit by a bullet. And she raised a biracial son at that. So she's a white woman who raised a Black son. So that kind of plays on the title. And, you know, just wrong place, wrong time, just trying to be you know, the guy to mitigate. You know, he was the guy, his son, her son, sorry, was, you know, one of those people who get along with everybody, you know. And, you know, let's just say, to give the example, let's say we're looking at Bloods and Crips. He was a guy who had friends on both sides. And him trying to be in the middle of it, trying to be the peacemaker, he ended up, you know, getting a shot, you know, right to the head, you know, just to try to make the peace. So I really just kind of wanted to tell a unique perspective from women who we don't really hear too often on an intimate conversation about gun violence. Usually it's kind of focused on the point of view of, like, you know, a rapper or like a gangster or even politics and like people in the media, like the news and stuff. And they always have an interesting angle. We see the same angle over and over. Oh, it's gang violence, blah, blah, blah. But it really is deeper than that. And of course, ultimately, my goal is to bring more awareness to it, because I'm sure it's happening in a lot of places, different communities around the world. So it's something that we can always relate to. But in Toronto, it got really, really hot to the point where I wanted to do something about it. And I wanted to tell a unique story and point of view from a woman's, I guess, view.
I really appreciate you making this, because me being unaware in Toronto, I never knew stuff like this happened. Like I really didn't know stuff like this happened. So me seeing that, it just touched my heart, because it's like, wow, like it's an ongoing thing. It happens everywhere. Like you might think that saying is so cliche, but it really happens everywhere. And just to see how you just put it all together with the two different like perspectives, it was just awesome, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man. You know, it's you know, I feel like it's a lot more glamorized in the States and across the border. Here, it's kind of more swept under the rug, but it happens, like, I would say almost just as frequent as we probably hear about it across the border. So I definitely wanted to bring awareness to that and kind of share a unique perspective. Yeah, definitely. Sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, there are mothers who can relate to the young ladies. Same story, many mothers, you know, right here in our city, right next door in Chicago, and throughout the nation. And like you said, Ahmad and Adrian, throughout the world, you know. So thank you. This is the prime example of how we enlighten and empower and educate people through storytelling and through our films and through our creative gifts and writing and and directing and all of that. So keep using your voice. Congratulations to you all. I wish we had more time. We have to move on down and cross the borders back over to the States so we can head over to North Carolina and visit Miss Kamaya Walker. But thank you to the Being Black in Toronto Film Collective and group. Congratulations to you. If you could just tell us, all three of you, if you could just quickly, like in 2 seconds, tell us what's next for you, like 2 seconds each, 2 seconds, please.
Up next for me, I have a feature in development with 4 other producers.
Nice.
It's a queer comedy heist, and yeah, that's what's next.
Send you blessings. Yeah.
Shireen, what's next for you?
I have 2 films in pre-production. They had to be stopped because of COVID, and one of them was supposed to be filmed back in Jamaica, and I haven't been there since. So they're just still in pre-production or on pause until things free up so we can go record and film.
So we pray a short pause for all involved and all affected by COVID, because we know that it has definitely, affected the industry as well as the entire world. Adrian, what's next for you?
Yes, thanks. So I got 2 original TV series in development. One I started back in film school that I'm looking to revisit. Another I kind of did out of my own pocket, just like an idea I had, got together with some friends, just really indie guerrilla, go with it. And I'm looking to make my directorial debut on my first feature in 2021 as well. So yeah, a couple things going on.
Awesome. Well, wonderful. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much for your time and for virtually visiting the great city of Gary, Indiana. I hope you'll be able to make it over here soon. I got to get back to Toronto.
Hopefully.
All right. Miss Kamaya.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Let's head on over to North Carolina A&T, where we have our college student and filmmaker, Miss Kamaya Walker, creator of Squeaky Clean Quarantine, which is the cutest little short film. It's so cute.
It really is. It really is.
Yes. Tell us about that and your inspiration and motivation. We know that COVID has brought out a lot of creativity in so many people. And I know it's related to that, but just give us just more insight on the backstory, please.
Okay, so basically I signed up for a class with the Atlanta Film Society. It was like a directing class, and I signed up kind of late and I didn't really understand the instructions. So when I came to the class, it was virtual, of course, because COVID, it was like the beginning stages of COVID. And he said, the teacher was like, yeah, so you guys have a week to make a short film just about anything. And I was like, what? A week? So I started thinking, and then I looked around my room and I was like, yeah, I need to do something about that. So then I was like, wait, I can combine the two. So I cleaned my room and I was recording at the same time.
Come on, I love it.
So yeah, so I turned it into the class and they were like, wow, this is like really good. You should do something with it. So I just started submitting it to random film festivals to see what would happen.
Nice, Kamaya. So I have a question for you. What did you want people to gain when they watched your short?
Well, one, I personally know someone who has passed away from COVID, my uncle. So I wanted people to realize that COVID is real and like it's a thing, which is why quarantine is in the name and why he's dedicated at the end. Right. And I also just wanted to give people something to do during COVID. So like, not only can you watch my short film, but you can get inspired to clean. You can get inspired to learn a new hobby. You can get inspired to listen to new music. Like this was just so like people would want to stay home. Cause I say my hometown is Georgia and our governor was like the first to let up on the stay at home thing. So it was like, no, y'all still need to stay home. So here's something you can do. Go clean your room.
I think a lot of governors are starting to see that, Kamaya. Unfortunately.
Definitely. You're definitely planting seeds.
All these numbers. Yeah. Yes. Well, I think people will also see and be inspired to, as they hear your story, that they can create a short film in a week.
Right.
or less.
You
really
did that, honey.
Really
and it looks like just because I was just so intrigued. I'm like, oh, she has a whole YouTube situation going on. So it looks like your YouTube page kind of bloomed and blossomed from this one short film.
Well, it didn't blossom
YouTube
from
channel.
It didn't blossom from this short film. I had a YouTube channel when I was younger, and I would just post random rants, and then I never like deleted those videos, so they're just there.
Oh, I gotta subscribe. I gotta subscribe.
But I do post my other short films on there.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're merging together.
Yes.
Gotcha. And what do you tell us what you're studying at North Carolina A&T and what's next for you and your aspirations?
Okay, so the official name for my degree program is Journalism and Mass Communications with a concentration in Mass Media Production. Yes.
Right.
Mouthful.
Never heard that.
The short version basically is like the behind the scenes, the film, the camera work and all that. So what I have planned next, I'm currently making a documentary about the skaters on my campus. It's very short documentary. But yeah, that should be done by Tuesday.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm ready to see it.
Congrats.
Wonderful. Well, congrats and blessings and all the best to you. And I look forward to seeing all of your names in a big way here in the future as your career develops. Ahmad, we need to wrap this up here soon, but would you like to touch base on Why Bully Me? And do we want to give a quick shout out to the Detroit Film Kids, where the founder is the filmmaker of Why Bully Me, Miss Ronnie Fields. I think that is a wonderful initiative for our youth that Detroit has. They were not able to be with us today, but to our viewers, please, make sure you follow the Detroit Film Kids online and check them out, and it's all of the wonderful things that they're doing as well. Ahmad, we're going to wrap this up, and I think a good segue to wrap this up after speaking about Kamaya's squeaky clean quarantine and the effects that COVID has had on everyone. What's next for you? How have you been weathering this COVID storm and all of that stuff?
So COVID has really changed my trajectory on life, I would say, because I'm usually always on the go and like I'm usually just moving. But COVID has ultimately taught me like a lot of patience and learning how to sit in one area, really focus on myself and really learn myself more and more each day. So it's been a blessing in disguise, honestly. But what's next?
Quick question. Have you been doing like any virtual acting classes?
Oh, yes. My acting coach, Miss Jossie Harris. She was in Fly Girl and Live in Color. She did a lot of big things. So I'm working with her like every week. I'm coming back on The Chi. We start production January, hopefully. So, just doing that and been auditioning for other projects. And I also recently just wrapped. I'll be on this show on Hulu called Pen 15. It's an animated episode that I'll be in, which is dope because they're going to make like a whole cartoon of me. So.
Oh, wow. Congrats. Now, when can we see that?
2021.
Okay. Wonderful. So we're going to see you live and in animation all over the TV in 2021.
It's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing.
It really is. I know you all wrapped because we shared The Chi and my show Next. We shared stages at CineSpace. And I know you all wrapped up before we did like the beginning of 2020. Correct? Or was it the end of 2019? I think
it was end of 2019, December 2019.
It was December, and we wrapped March right before the mandatory shutdown. We wrapped March 4th, and we were able to complete, all of our filming for my show Next that's actually airing now on Fox. But it affected and stopped some shows like dead in the heat of the middle of the season. So, and I'm actually on my way back to the studio the end of the month. So, just blessings and prayers to all who have been affected by COVID, to our industry brothers and sisters in front of and behind the camera, to all of the creatives. We know that this is a trying time, but it's also a triumphant time because so many wonderful gifts and energy and creativity and new businesses and scripts and shows have been birthed and it's being created in this time. And, you know, and we look forward to seeing it, you know, the fruit of all of this and on the other side of COVID in 2020.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yes. There's so much. I wish we could stay and talk longer. I wish we could. It's so fun. Yes. And I want to thank everyone. Thank our panelists. Thank the co-host, Ms. Latrice Edwards, Mr. Ahmad Ferguson. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by, and go back because it's on demand, 48 hours. Yeah. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget to visit our website. We have some beautiful things there. And don't forget to vote for your favorite film. Vote. Thank you, everyone.